Okay, let's unpack this. Forget what you think you know about calming your mind for a second. What if the key to unlocking your peace and maybe even sorting out your gut health isn't some pill, but maybe a missing internal ingredient you're actively mismanaging? Today, we're doing a deep dive into GABA, that's gamma-aminobutyric acid.
Right, the brain's main inhibitory neurotransmitter.
Exactly. Basically, your body's built-in calm down signal. We're
Well,
talking about those really common feelings, anxiety, that mental chatter that just won't stop, maybe struggling with sleep.
yeah, or chronic fatigue, digestive issues like constipation, even just generalized pain.
And these things are so incredibly common, but often really misunderstood. And here's the trap, right? So many people think, low GABA, I'll just grab a GABA supplement.
Happens all the time.
But we're going to explore why that often misses the mark, why it might feel like it works, but it's possibly more placebo than, well, real solution. So our mission today, to figure out what really helps boost your GABA levels naturally using what we've learned for, more happiness and well-being.
Okay, so to really get GABA, we first need to talk about its counterpart, glutamate.
The other side of the coin.
Exactly. Think of them as, two sides of the same dynamic coin managing your brain's activity. Glutamate is the main excitatory one. It's the go signal.
Right, for focus, action.
Action, problem solving, even that evolutionary fight or flight thing. We needed to get things done. But, and this is the important part, the danger happens when there's too much glutamate, or maybe when your body can't convert it properly.
Convert it into GABA.
Precisely. When that balance is off, glutamate becomes, well, the term is excitotoxic.
Excitotoxic. That sounds bad.
It is. It literally means it's toxic to your neurons, harmful to brain cells. It's not a small thing.
Right.
Evolutionarily, it makes sense.
Yeah.
We needed the do capacity first.
So glutamate comes first.
Right. And GABA actually derives from it. But we also absolutely need the capacity to not do, to calm down, rest, especially at night. It's all about finding that balance.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. If your body struggles with that balance, if it can't make that switch from glutamate to GABA efficiently, you're basically stuck in overdrive. Your brain just can't hit the brakes. You literally can't stop thinking. You're sort of in this internal war state, even when you're trying to relax.
That's a great way to put it, like an engine always redlining. And this leads us to a really crucial player, one that's often overlooked, vitamin B6.
B6. Okay, tell me more.
So that conversion process, glutamate turning into GABA, it's done by an enzyme. It's called glutamate decarboxylase, or GAD for short.
GAD. Got it.
And the key detail, the really crucial part, is that the GAD enzyme is vitamin B6 dependent. It absolutely needs B6 to function.
Wow. Okay, so if B6 is the key, what does that actually mean day to day? It sounds like if your B6 levels aren't, optimal.
Then you'll likely have an excess of glutamate.
Which fuels that excitotoxicity you mentioned.
Exactly. So for some people, that inability to switch off, to calm down, it might not be about willpower at all. It could literally be a biochemical bottleneck.
That's fascinating. And you mentioned it can particularly affect women because of hormones.
Yeah, there can be specific hormonal sensitivities that influence how B6 is metabolized or utilized, making adequate levels even more critical sometimes.
Right. But, lots of people take a multivitamin. Is it really that common for B6 to be low enough to cause these kinds of problems?
It's surprisingly common, actually, especially getting enough of the active form, which is called P5P, or pyridoxal 5-phosphate. A standard multi might not cut it for everyone.
P5P, okay.
Yeah. But the good news is we don't have to guess. You can actually measure your P5P levels.
Ow.
Through a standard blood test, an analytica sanguinea, or sometimes using something like an oligoscopy. It gives you a clear picture of whether your body has what it needs, metabolically speaking, to make that conversion happen.
So getting tested is a really practical first step.
It's foundational, yeah.
Okay, so we've got the brain chemistry, the glutamate, the GABA, the vital role of B6. But how does the gut fit into all this? We hear so much about the gut-brain axis, the vagus nerve.
Oh, it's completely tangled up together. You really can't separate them.
Like those gossiping friends you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, exactly. They're constantly talking. And GABA plays a huge role in that conversation, often acting as the peacemaker. Its influence goes way beyond just the brain.
Okay, like where else?
Well, take the pancreas, for instance. GABA helps with the proper release and even the synthesis of insulin.
Really? Insulin?
Yeah, which means if someone has severe insulin resistance or even Type 2 diabetes, that condition itself can actually interfere with the glutamate to GABA conversion process.
Wow. So that creates a kind of vicious cycle.
It absolutely can.
Yeah.
And then in your intestine, GABA is crucial for motility.
Motility, like keeping things moving.
Exactly. The coordinated movement of food and waste through your stomach, small intestine, colon, all of it. Without enough GABA influence there, things can really slow down or become irregular.
Explains the constipation link, maybe?
Definitely a factor. It's also key for releasing digestive enzymes correctly in the stomach. And even in the liver, GABA stimulates important detoxification pathways and helps the enterohepatic circuit. That's how your body manages bile and waste.
Okay, so if we connect all those dots, a lack of good quality, well-managed GABA isn't just about feeling anxious. It can show up as really frustrating digestive problems.
Absolutely. Things like chronic indigestion, constipation, IBS symptoms, maybe even contributing to more serious inflammatory conditions like Crohn's.
It really highlights how connected everything is. Mental state, gut function. It even touches on things like tryptophan and serotonin for overall calm, too, doesn't it?
It's all part of the same interconnected web, yes.
All right, let's tackle that common approach we mentioned earlier head on. The idea of just taking GABA supplements. Why is that often, well, an error?
Right. This is a really important point to clarify. There are two main reasons why simply swallowing GABA pills usually doesn't work for directly impacting your brain's GABA levels.
Okay, reason one.
First, a lot of the GABA you take orally
Mm-hmm.
tends to just stay in the intestine. Now, as we just discussed, GABA is important for gut function, so it might have some benefit there.
But it's not reaching the brain.
Exactly. And that leads to the second, and really the most fundamental reason.
Yep.
Oral GABA does not cross the blood-brain barrier.
Ah, the famous barrier.
Yep, it's like a super strict security checkpoint for your brain. It protects it, but it also means the brain has to manage its own GABA production internally. Stuff from the outside, especially large molecules like GABA, generally doesn't get a pass.
So the brain has to make its own supply.
Precisely. And there's this myth that sometimes goes around
Uh-huh.
that GABA molecules from your gut can somehow, climb up the vagus nerve to your brain.
Right, I think I've heard something like that.
Yeah, it's a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Your gut nerves, the enteric nervous system, absolutely send signals to the brain via the vagus nerve. Signals about safety, calm, peace, which can then stimulate your brain to produce its own GABA.
Okay, so it's a signaling process, not a delivery service.
Exactly. The GABA molecule itself isn't making that journey. It's an information exchange, not a cargo ship.
That makes so much sense. And it explains why people get frustrated, right? They try something like a GABA pill, it doesn't work long term, and they think there's no solution.
Yeah, but often the intervention fails because of these, small but crucial misunderstood details.
So the key isn't just adding more GABA from the outside.
The key is supporting your body's internal ability to make the transformation, to convert glutamate into GABA effectively.
Okay, so what does work then? How do we support that internal process?
Well, the real solution, as we've been building up to, lies in boosting that conversion ability and maybe also gently lowering excessive glutamate.
And we know vitamin B6 is key.
Foundational, yes. Absolutely critical. The unexpected protagonist, as you called it earlier.
Uh-huh.
But B6 isn't working in isolation. There are other essential cofactors needed for that G80 enzyme to do its job properly.
Okay, like what else?
We're talking zinc, iron, and magnesium.
Zinc, iron, magnesium.
Okay. Magnesium is involved in so many things. It's almost like a wild card. But those three, zinc, iron, magnesium, along with B6, are really crucial teammates for this specific conversion.
Got it. B6, zinc, iron, magnesium. What about lifestyle stuff, like meditation?
Oh, absolutely. Lifestyle strategies are important too. Things like meditation, mindfulness practices, yoga, tai chi, even simple breathing techniques like square breathing. They can definitely help lower that overall excitation level.
Okay.
But, and this is really important, but these strategies work best. They're truly effective only if your underlying metabolic machinery is in place.
Meaning if you have the B6 and other cofactors.
Exactly. You could do mindful breathing all day long, but if your body physically can't make that chemical switch from glutamate to GABA because it's missing a key ingredient, you're still going to struggle. It's like trying to drive a car with no gas in the tank.
That's a great analogy. Okay, so
Yeah.
we have the cofactors, the lifestyle. What else? You hinted at something earlier. Maybe the biggest piece.
Yes. The microbiota. Your gut microbiome.
The trillions of bacteria living in our gut. How do they fit in?
They are absolutely essential. It turns out that specific types of beneficial gut bacteria are directly involved in transforming glutamate into GABA right there in your gut.
Whoa! So bacteria are making GABA for us.
They're certainly contributing to the pool of GABA in the gut and helping with that conversion process. But here's the flip side, dysbiosis.
Dysbiosis, an imbalance in the gut bacteria.
Right. An imbalance, maybe an overgrowth of less helpful bacteria or fungi, parasites, even low-grade infections causing something like endotoxemia.
Hmm.
This state of dysbiosis does two really bad things here.
Yeah.
One, it actively prevents that beneficial glutamate to GABA conversion happening in the gut. And two, it severely messes with your ability to absorb those vital cofactors we just listed.
So it blocks GABA production and blocks the absorption of B6, zinc, iron, magnesium.
Pretty much. Even if you're eating well or taking supplements, it creates this awful vicious cycle, especially if there's also intestinal hyperpermeability, leaky gut. Nutrients leak out, toxins leak in.
Yeah.
It really hinders everything.
Wow. That makes gut health seem absolutely central to mental well-being then.
It really underscores why an integrative health view is so crucial. We have to see the body as this interconnected system.
So the sequence is often a problem in the microbiome,
Leads to poor GABA management or production.
which impacts the brain.
And the whole metabolic circuit gets thrown off. If you don't manage digestive health properly, especially at that gut lining level, and you combine that with mental hyperactivity, you're stuck. And very often the starting point, the root, is in the microbiome.
Okay, so the practical advice here for you listening isn't necessarily to rush out and buy a bottle of GABA or even just B6.
Right. First, it's about evaluating your actual needs, maybe getting those tests done we talked about,
Then focusing on the fundamentals, diet, stress, sleep.
improving those core habits,
Hmm.
and then maybe strategically complementing with the specific cofactors, B6, zinc, iron, magnesium, that your body actually needs.
But always, always prioritizing gut health, addressing that dysbiosis.
That has to be foundational. It's the path to real, sustainable change, not just masking symptoms.
So ultimately, what we've really uncovered today isn't just about a single neurotransmitter, GABA. It's more profound. It's about understanding that true well-being is like an internal symphony.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain isn't isolated. It's constantly listening to your gut, reacting to the nutrients you absorb, the state of your microbiome. The real deep dive is always into your own body's interconnected ecosystem.
Couldn't agree more. You know, your gut bacteria, the specific vitamins and minerals you actually absorb or maybe don't absorb, and your daily habits, they are all linked in this incredibly intricate dance. And that dance really dictates your mental calm, your energy levels, your digestive comfort. Maybe just pause and consider that for a moment. How many of your daily feelings, maybe that background hum of anxiety or that afternoon slump or that digestive discomfort, how much of it might be directly tied to this complex internal world we've been discussing?
It's quite a shift in perspective. It really is. So take these insights, maybe explore them within your own life, pay attention to your body, focus on those foundational pieces, especially gut health, and just observe how you feel as you make these changes. Would genuinely love to know about your experiences as you dig deeper into understanding your own incredible internal world. Until next time, stay curious.